Hello and welcome in. I'm Emily Ruth and you're joining me here today in the Canadian Rockies for a pre-hike yoga session. This class is all about increasing the circulation to warm the muscles we primarily use when we're out in the mountains, as well as dropping into the present moment. So when you're ready, we're going to start in tabletop position, all fours. Spread the fingertips wide, stacking shoulders on top of wrists, knees under hip points and toes coming straight back and out behind. Take an inhale breath and we're going to begin by dropping through the belly, pulling the chest forwards and lift through the chin. And as we exhale, tuck through the tailbone, round through the spine, bring the chin to chest. Good. Inhale breath, drop through the belly, open through the chest and lift through the chin. Exhale, tucking through the tailbone, rounding through spine. Chin to chest, one last time. Inhale breath, drop through the belly, pull the chest forwards, lift through the chin. And exhale, tuck through the tailbone, round through the spine, chin to chest. This time, keep the shape and take a deep breath in. Let the breath fill across the back of the rib cage. And as we exhale now, drop the belly, pull the chest forwards, lift through the chin. 2 more rounds. Inhale breath, tuck through the tailbone, rounding spine, really push the mat away. And exhale, drop through the belly, pull the chest forwards and lift through the chin. Last round. Inhale breath, tuck the tailbone, rounding through spine, chin to chest. Exhale, drop through the belly, pull the chest forwards, lift through the chin. This time press down into the left hand and keep the pelvis level. As we inhale, we're going to reach the right arm up to the sky. Open through the chest, look up to your thumb. And exhale, slide the right arm underneath the left, shoulder and ear come towards the ground. We're going to keep it fluid here. Inhale breath, unravel and open. Exhale, right arm slides under left, shoulder and ear towards the ground. One last time. Inhale breath, unravel and open. Keep that pelvis level. And exhale, right arm slides under left, shoulder and ear come down to the ground and we take a pause here. Begin to anchor your left hip back a little more and we'll walk the left fingertips forwards about halfway so we can keep a bend in that elbow as we tent through the left fingertips. And as we anchor that left hip back, imagine you're trying to point the left elbow up towards the sky, cultivating that intrinsic tension along the length of the spine as we welcome in that rotation, opening up through the shoulders and warming through the core muscles here. Let's take one more breath in. One more breath out. Good. Slide the left hand back down and plant it in front of the face. And as we inhale, unravel. Reach the right arm up to the sky. Look up. With our exhale, we're going to cactus into the right elbow. Sink the hips back towards the heels and pull the pinky as far back as you can. Inhale breath, we shift forwards, plant the right hand down and then pivot the right toes out to your right side, tucking them under at about 45 degrees. Take a breath in. And with that exhale, we're going to sink the hips back towards the left heel. Lift the right knee up and try and open up through that right hip. Good. Inhale breath, reverse that motion. Shift forwards, tap the right knee back in. Exhale, send the hips back. Externally rotate through that right hip. One more time. Inhale breath. Shift forwards. Tap the right knee in. Exhale. Send the hips back. Rotate the right hip open. And this time we'll take a little pause here. And as we pull the hips back, inch the fingertips forward slightly and then walk them to the left-hand side ever so slightly. Finding this diagonal line from the right pinky finger all the way down into the right hip. Take one full breath in, one full breath out. Good. Walk the hands back through to center and pressing into the palms of the hands. As we inhale, we'll round forwards, bring the right knee in and parallel the right calf off to the left. And exhale, drop through the belly, lift through the chest, lift through the chin. Press into the right hand this time, and as we inhale, left arm lifts to the sky, look up to your thumb. Exhale, left arm slides under right shoulder and ear, come down and towards the ground as we twist. 2 more rounds, keeping it fluid. Inhale, breath to open. Exhale, breath to twist. Last round, inhale, breath, we open. Keep the hips level if we can. Exhale, breath to twist. Left arm comes down under the right shoulder and ear, come down towards the ground, and we take a pause. Anchor your right hip back in space and begin to walk your right fingertips halfway forward so that we still keep a bend in that right elbow. Tenting into the right fingertips, try and point the right elbow up to the sky as you peel the right hip back a little more, cultivating that intrinsic tension here along the length of the spine. Tapping into the breath, maybe closing the eyes down if they're not already. Let's take one more breath in. One more breath out. Sliding the right hand back down, plant it in front of the face. And as we inhale, we'll unravel, reaching the left arm up to the sky, look up. As we exhale, cactus through the left elbow, sink the hips back towards the heels and try and pull that pinky finger back and behind you. Inhale, we shift forwards, bring the left hand down to the mat and then pivot the left toes out on a 45-degree angle behind you as we tuck the toes. Take a breath in. As we exhale, sink the hips back to the heel, lift that left knee out this time, opening up through left hip. Good. Inhale, breath, reverse that motion. Tap the left knee in as we shift forwards. Exhale, breath, send the hips back, drawing them towards the heel and opening through the hip. One more time, inhale, breath. We shift forwards, tap that left knee in. Exhale, send the hips back, opening up. And this time we'll take a little pause here. Drawing your hips back to that right heel as far as we can. They might not touch, that's okay. And then walk the fingertips over to the right ever so slightly. Doesn't need to be a big movement. Finding that diagonal line of the fingertips anchoring into the ground and peeling that left hip back, pressing that left knee back a little more. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. Walk the fingertips back through to center and light grip into all 10. As we inhale, we round forwards through the spine, bring the left knee in and parallel through the legs. And as we exhale, drop through the belly, open through the chest, lift through the chin. From here, walk the hands forwards just an inch or so, tuck the toes under behind you. And when you're ready, we're gonna send the hips back and up, finding our way into a downward facing dog. Soften the knees, press away from the ground through the hands and take a deep belly breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And take a moment to pedal out through the feet here, dropping one heel down, followed by the other. And take your time, there's no rush. Move with control as you begin to open up through that back line of fascia, from the plantar fascia and the soles of the feet, all the way up through the calves, the hamstrings, the low, mid, and upper back, wrapping its way up through the back of the neck into the head. So soften the space between the eyebrows. Relax the jawline and then slow this pedaling motion down until we come into stillness. Let's take one more deep breath here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Anchor down through the left heel, and as we inhale, we'll float the right leg long behind us, momentarily coming through three-legged dog. And as we exhale, round forwards through the spine and step the right foot forwards through and up between the hands. If it comes halfway, bring a helping hand in and literally step it up to the top. And then let's drop the back knee down, untuck the back toes. Bringing our blocks in here, either side of that front foot, maybe to the highest setting. Let the hips become heavy, and as we inhale, peel the chest forwards, gentle lift of the chin. Exhale, gliding the hips back, lengthen into the front leg and flex through the front ankle, pulling toes towards knee. Inhale, breath, ripple forwards, hips lower, heart lifts. Exhale, gliding the hips back, lengthening into the front leg, flex through the front ankle. One more time. Inhale, breath, ripple forwards. Make this a full body movement. Exhale, breath, gliding back, lengthening into that front leg. We're going to take a little pause here. Maybe we walk the blocks a little closer for support. Inhale, breath, lengthen through the spine. And then as we exhale, take a little fold. Keep a micro bend in this right knee. Press through the front heel and almost imagine you're trying to pull it back towards the back of the mat at about 50% capacity. Take one more breath. As we inhale, ripple forwards, plant the front foot down. We're going to pop the blocks just out to one side and rise all the way up, coming into our low crescent lunge. Fingertips lift to sky. We're going to pull the hips back slightly here, taking more of a 90-90 setup through the legs. And then bring your awareness into the back of the pelvis or the tailbone and begin to think about sinking the tailbone or pulling the tailbone down towards the ground. So we begin to open up into left hip flexors. And then keeping that activation, maybe then we begin to shift the front knee forwards ever so slightly. Deep breath in. As we exhale, catch a hold of the left wrist with the right hand, and we're going to tilt to the right for a side body stretch. Keep the tailbone pulling down, and then with that side stretch, begin to curve forwards through the upper back. And slowly we're going to guide the left elbow to hook all the way over to the outer edge of the right thigh. Once we've hooked it in, inhale, breath, get longer through the spine, crown of head reaches forwards. And then as we exhale, maybe we release the right hand and reach behind our back for the left hip. Coming into an active twist here, press the elbow into the thigh, thigh presses back into the elbow. Find that breath. For one more breath in. One more breath out. Slowly, like we're moving through honey, we're going to release that hook of the elbow and rotate through center. Come all the way around until we face the long edge of the mat, fingertips ground, and we pivot the left toes back behind the left knee and lengthen the right leg out towards the front edge of the mat. Plant the hands down so we're almost in a tabletop position with one leg extended. Inhale, breath, drop the belly, lift the chest. And as we exhale, glide the hips back towards that left heel. Good. Inhale, breath, shifting forwards. Exhale, breath, gliding the hips back. One more time. Inhale, breath, shifting forwards. Exhale, breath. Glide the hips back, and this time we'll take a little pause here. Maybe we walk the fingertips out a little further as the chest and the head come down towards the ground. Trying to press the pinky edge of the right foot down into the front of the mat as we open up through the adductors, that inner line of the right thigh. One more breath here. And then slide your left hand towards the back edge of the mat and plant it down a full arm's length away from you. Pressing into left hand and left knee. As we inhale, we're going to shift the hips forwards, rise up and sweep the right arm overhead. Exhale, reverse that motion. Hips to heel and the right hand sweeps towards the right foot. Two more times. Inhale, breath. Shift forwards and open. Exhale, hips to heel, right hand sweeps towards the front of the mat. Last round. Inhale, breath. We open. This time, take a little pause. Maybe we pull the right thumb back a little more. Maybe we rotate chest up towards the sky for one more breath in. As we exhale, rotate the chest down towards the ground until the right hand lands, and we're going to walk the hands up to the top of the mat until we frame that front foot. Plant the hands down, lift the back knee, and step back to plank position here. Good. Body in one long line here from crown of head through to heels. Spread the fingertips wide, and when you're ready, let's shift forwards on the toes. And imagine you're trying to pull the heels of the hands back towards the feet. Feel that activation switch on. Take a breath in. Exhale, chaturanga, landing the knees whenever you need and aiming to land thighs, hips, chest and head all at the same time. Good. Inhale, breath, baby cobra to rise. Peel the chest forwards. Exhale, take a slow lower down. Float the hands 1 inch up, keep the elbows squeezing in, toes stay grounded. Inhale, breath, no-handed baby cobra, we rise. And exhale, lower down, hands ground, tuck the toes and send the hips back. And up, coming into downward facing dog. Deep full breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Anchor into the right side this time and inhale, left leg lifts long, three-legged dog. As we exhale, we step the left foot forwards and through between the hands. Bring it on up if you need. Drop the back knee, untuck the back toes. Let's bring those blocks in underneath the hands, maybe higher setting for a little more support. And then keep the hips heavy. Inhale, pull the chest forwards, gentle lift of the chin. Exhale, breath, glide the hips back, lengthen into that front leg and pull the toes back towards the knee. Good. Moving on the breath here. Inhale, ripple forwards, hips lower, heart lifts. Exhale, gliding the hips back, lengthen into front leg, flex through front ankle. One last time. Inhale, breath, ripple forwards. Exhale, glide the hips back, lengthen into that front leg, and we'll take a little pause here. Maybe walk the blocks a little closer for support. Inhale, breath to lengthen. Exhale, breath. As we fold, keep a micro bend in this left knee. Press the heel down and imagine you're trying to pull it back towards you just for a breath. With our inhale, ripple forwards, let the hips lower, pop the blocks out to one side, and we rise on up, coming all the way into our low crescent lunge. Take a moment to settle in here, coming into that 90-90 position. Rather than dumping the weight forwards, pull them back, and then think about pulling the tailbone down towards the ground. Grounded through feet, lifting that energy up through center, and then maybe we shift the weight forwards ever so slightly. Take a breath in. As we exhale, catch a hold of the right wrist with the left hand, and we begin to find our side tilt to the left. Keeping the tailbone pulling down towards the ground, we're going to slowly begin to curve through the upper back and guide our right elbow all the way to hook to the outer edge of the left thigh. And as it hooks over, take a breath in and lengthen through the spine. Crown of head and chest lift a little. Then we release that left hand and reach it all the way behind the back towards the right hip. Good. Almost rolling that left shoulder back here. And as we press the elbow into the thigh, press the thigh back into the elbow, let's take one more breath in. One more breath out. Moving slow here with control. We're going to release that bind and rotate through past the midline, come all the way to face the long edge of the mat, bring the hands down, pivot the right toes behind the knee and extend that left leg out forwards. Inhale, breath, drop belly, lift chest. And exhale, sending the hips back towards the right heel. Coming into our adductor rock backs. Two more times. Inhale, breath, shift forwards. Exhale, breath, gliding the hips back. One last time. Inhale, breath, bring it forwards. Exhale, breath, glide the hips back, and this time we'll settle in. Maybe the hips come to the heel, maybe they don't. No right, no wrong. Take it just as far as feels good for you today. We might let the forehead drop to the ground and then inch the fingertips away from us, adding in that little side body stretch from pinkies into hip creases. Take one more breath in. And one more breath out. When you're ready, we're going to reach the right hand towards the back of the mat and plant it down a whole arm's length away from us. And pressing into right hand, right knee. Inhale, push the hips forwards and sweep the left arm overhead. Exhale, breath. Reverse that motion with control. Bring the hips back down to the heel and sweep the left hand towards the front of the mat. Inhale, breath. Shift the hips forwards, opening up through the left side. Exhale, reverse that motion, hips to heel. Folding over the front thigh one more time. Inhale, breath, shift forwards, press the hips up. This time we'll pause for a breath. Maybe rotating chest to sky a little more, maybe pulling that left thumb back as we open up all through that front line. Take one more breath in. As we exhale, rotate the chest towards the ground until the left hand comes down. We're going to walk the hands along to the front of the mat, pivoting on the back knee as we go and frame that front foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee up. This time we'll step back to downward facing dog. Send the hips up high and take a deep full breath in. Deep full breath out. As we inhale, rise up high on the toes, find a little space. As we exhale, we're going to bend the knees, look forwards and take tiny steps, walking our way forwards, through and up. Maybe keeping the hands grounded for as long as you can until we come into forward fold at the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. We lengthen through the spine, anchor through the heels. Exhale, breath. Fold forwards and down and find your way fingertips to ground. So bend the knees generously together. And then imagine you've got magnets on your fingertips. Anchor through the heels. And as we begin to round through the spine, rolling up one vertebrae at the time, the fingertips keep reaching down even as they rise. Active, roll up through the spine until we come all the way into Tadasana, mountain pose. As we arrive, close down the eyes, let the palms unfold to face forwards and the fingertips soften, and bring your awareness into the soles of the feet. We're going to take a deep grounding breath in, filling up from the soles of the feet all the way to the crown of the head. And then gently sigh it out through the mouth. On our next inhale, sweep the arms wide, reach all the way up, full body stretch. Exhale, diving forwards and down, coming back into Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, breath, halfway lift, hands to shins. As we exhale, bring the fingertips back to the ground. This time we're going to rise up onto our tiptoes, lifting the heels, and then lower the hips down to the heels, pivoting the knees out wide to the side, coming into our toe squat malasana. Walk the fingertips in towards you. Let's find a still point to focus on in front of you, your drishti. We float the fingertips up and then reach them out in front of you. Fun transition coming up, stay with me. We're going to reach as far forwards as we can with our hands. And as we're reaching forwards, our hips are going to hinge back and we're going to let them keep going. You're going to trust yourself here. Stay hands-free if we can, and then see if we can land the sit bones down as gracefully as we can. Plant the feet down in front of you. Bring the hands back behind you. An option to bring the hands back onto blocks if you like. Feet hip distance, ground through the hands, and inhale breath. We're going to begin to lift the hips up, engaging through the glutes, pressing hips to sky. Exhale breath, lower down, tap the tailbone down. 2 more times. Inhale breath, we rise, reverse table. Exhale breath to lower. One last time. Inhale breath to rise, lift the hips up. This time we're going to pause here at the top. Keep the back of the neck long here rather than dropping the head back. And then when you're ready, we're going to shift the knees forwards. Maybe the heels lift up. Take it just as far as you can. Exhale, bring it back. One more time. Shift the knees forwards. And bring it on back. One deep breath in, press hips to sky. And exhale, land the sit bones all the way down and come into cross-legged to close. Feel free to bring a block underneath the sit bones just to lift the hips up, let the knees lower down, and then letting hands rest facing up towards the sky. Gently close down the eyes as we arrive into our final few moments of stillness, allowing the nectar of your practice to settle. Feeling the warmth created through the body, that lift of the heart rate. Maybe setting an intention for your day or your adventure ahead. And when you're ready, we'll gently bring hands together to heart center and gently bow the head to meet the heart. Thanking yourself for carving out this time today. Until next time, namaste.